Hey y'all, I just want to personally thank you so much for having me today to be able to hang out with you. And I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but I am excited to talk a little bit and dive a little bit further into not only a couple of things that I personally am taking on with me, I guess, and carrying with me into the new year, but more importantly, talking about growing your team. And I'm so excited. I'm so honored that you are not only watching this video with me, but the fact that if you are watching this, it just means that either one, you're a fairly newer consultant, and maybe perhaps you're looking for a little bit more like fresh intake, or maybe a new idea on growing and sponsoring your team. Or if you're watching this video, you maybe perhaps already have somebody that you sponsored, whether it's one person, whether you've got a couple of people that you've sponsored since you joined Scentsy. And if you're anything like myself, you're definitely thinking or wanting to kind of get out of the box and hear something a little bit different, or maybe you just need a fresher intake. Because believe it or not, that's actually where I've been in the last year or two. Is that even though I believe I looked back on it in this last year, and I solely sponsored, and I'm not going to say only sponsored, I'm going to say I solely sponsored 4 people. I got 4 new team members. That was whether they're brand new team members or they rejoined the Cincy business this last year. And that's not saying that I didn't necessarily plant seeds. And that's something we're going to dive into here in the very beginning, from right out the gate, is planting the seeds. So I want you to go ahead and grab a pen and paper. The good thing about this is that this video is actually pre-recorded, and it's honestly one of my personal favorite ways to watch any given training, because honestly, I've got big time ADHD, and so I love the fact that I can pause a training video, take some notes, or if need be, I can save it and then come back to it another time, which is pretty awesome in itself. So let's go and get started. So what was I saying earlier about planting seeds, right? So planting seeds, but not only just planting seeds, but planting seeds with intention. And so what I mean by planting seeds is that when I was reflecting back recently on this last year, for example, I kept thinking about not only the ones that I did actually sponsor, but more importantly, not just those, but more importantly, the ones that are still on my list, my whatever you want to call it, like my dream team list, my what if list, the individuals that I've had conversations with along the way, pretty much over the last couple of years, give or take, and many different interactions that have one way or another either expressed wanting to join Cincy, and or I've seen something within themselves that I'm like, you know what? I want them on my team. And the thing is that that running list, that list that I have is important, because when I look back on this last year, I was actually planting seeds along the way. And when I do plant seeds, it means it's not just one thing, it's not just one conversation, it's not just one interaction. Things like that can be extremely uncomfortable. And that's coming from somebody, like I said, that is coming from me personally. This last year has been extremely uncomfortable for me, because I feel like, in a way, I had to mentally undo all the things that either were bestowed upon me, or maybe inner dialogue that I was having with myself of why I wasn't sponsoring more than I wanted to, or maybe perhaps the ones that I was having conversations with, was not they were not automatically saying yes, or it could have been the fact that there were times that I was like, okay, I'm posting on social media, I'm sharing, I'm posting, and I'm frustrated because we've got a join special. I mean, think about all the couple times this last year that we had join specials, or I shared and I posted and I talked about how I had a join kit, and then either somebody would express interest and then I didn't hear anything from them, or perhaps I didn't hear anything at all and it was like crickets. Okay. But planting seeds with intention. One of the things that's most important that you can do from now as you're watching this video and put action behind going into 2025, or whenever you're watching this, is, for one, consistently sharing your Scentsy journey. What does that mean? What does that look like? Consistently sharing your journey is not just a one and done, okay? My favorite thing, honestly, is on your Scentsy website. If you're not already aware of this, there is a place on your Scentsy site you can actually edit it through your workstation, and make sure and ask your sponsor how to do this. But you can edit it through the workstation and you can create what's referred to as your story. So if you didn't know this, any person that's shopping on the Scentsy website, when they find your profile, they can actually scroll to the very bottom and it's gonna say a little thing, I think it's like, "Get to know me." And that's where your Scentsy story is gonna be. And your Scentsy story, just like my story, has changed and morphed over the last 5.5 years, almost 5.5 years that I've been with Scentsy, okay? It has changed so many times. And what's really great about that is that I make it a goal of mine at least once a quarter, if not once, at least once a catalog season. I go in and I like to edit and reframe and change up my story because it has to be changed, right? Because my thing is that I want to personally, as an individual, outside of Scentsy, since aside from Scentsy, I want to continuously grow and be a better version of myself than I was the day before. And what's wild to think about is that I am not the same person that I was 5 years ago when I joined Scentsy in the best way possible. Like the version that you see me, whether it's what's going on behind me in the background with my awesome sprinkle wallpaper or the fact that I have my own individual style. All of these things are made possible because of Scentsy. It's not just Scentsy, but Scentsy has been a bridge, a gap, a place in my story, in my this chapter of the season of my life that has got me to not only grow and become and work towards a better version of myself, but also I've brought people along the way with me that I want to see grow and change and be a better version of themselves too. And then when you get to a place like that, it's like this wildfire. It's this fire within yourself that's just so contagious that other people want to connect and be a part of it too. And why would I not want to turn around and connect with others and instill that magic inside of somebody else, especially if I think about the transformation that it's had within myself. I don't want to gatekeep that, right? And so planting seeds along the way is not only sharing my story on my Scentsy website, but if you're on social platforms, it's sharing there as well. In fact, if you create your story, which I highly recommend doing, you can then break it up into several sections and then spread that out within like a couple weeks, every week within a month. You can take one section at a time, hell, one sentence at a time, and you can go into your social platforms, whether it's Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, I don't care what it is. But when you go to your platform, you can actually share, and I recommend sharing a personal photo of yourself. Incorporate your pets, incorporate your kids, grandkids, spouse, whoever you want to incorporate. Pick up something personal, pick up a wax bar, smell it, take a picture, and I want you to share that one part, that one sentence, that one section of your story because that in itself is planting a seed. And here's the thing, one of the most important things when it comes to social media that I've had to keep in mind, and it just sucks so much because we just don't know because we look at the results, right? So what do we refer to? We look at the likes, the comments, the shares. So if I post something and I'm sharing something personal about myself, whether it's in my stories or whether I'm posting on my page and just solely talking on social media in general, if I don't see if there's a comment, a share, or a like, I take it personal because I'm like, ugh, here goes the algorithm. Or no one's interested in seeing what I just posted. I can't believe I shared that part of my heart. I can't believe that I came up with this post and I took some time to do this and then no one's responding to it. But here's the thing, here's the trick about social media is that even if somebody's not commenting or they're not interacting, it doesn't mean that they're not seeing it. And that definitely ties back to planting a seed. Because one thing that I've learned the hard way is that it's not always going to take just that one post for somebody to be like, oh my gosh, I want to join Scentsy. Woo, all right, that's it. I've connected with this person. Sign me up. I want to join. That in itself, y'all, is a unicorn. Is a unicorn. It does happen. It does happen. I have had people in the past 5 years that have joined my Scentsy team, whether it's through my first team member signed up because of one post that I had on Instagram. One post, y'all. That's all it took. But I guarantee you that's not always going to happen. That is going to be far and few in between. But it takes consistency. That is probably a term that you are honestly all the time hearing, I'm sure, in the Scentsy community, is that it's consistency. And it's true. It's there's a reason why you hear these certain terms, y'all, over and over and over. Because if you're consistent, and that's again, that's the hard part. That's the sucky part, is that it's not going to be like, well, I posted and then I got a new team member. I'm gonna be the first to tell you that's not gonna happen. But if you give me some time, if you hang out with me here today, hanging out with watching this video of mine, there are certain steps that it's gonna take that as long as you're showing up and you're practicing this and you're doing it consistently over and over and over, it will pay off. Because I don't know about y'all, but I wanna pour into those that I'm sponsoring that are going to be in it for a reason, not to be here just to be here. Whether they're and I wanna pour into those that more importantly are gonna be around for the long haul, but also not only be here for the long haul, but if they're here for a short amount of time, that they're here for a purpose. Because I don't want somebody to just come and go within a blink of an eye, and then I'm like, "Well, okay, well, that's that." Because that takes a I feel like that as a person, that takes a piece of me away. And unless I'm doing the work within myself, that hurts in the long run because we're human, right? It takes a toll on us. It hurts, especially if you're somebody that hasn't sponsored someone before and you're like, oh man, I just want that one team member. I keep asking and I keep putting myself out there and I don't know what's happening and nothing is working and I'm just tired. I'm just tired of it. And then you can't help but take it personal because again, we're only human. That's perfectly fine. We all feel that way, by the way. But if you're being authentically yourself and you're showing up and you're being consistent, you're going to connect with somebody, whether it's in person, whether you're having a conversation with somebody one on one, whether you're posting and sharing on social media. Those seeds are being planted and those people are watching you. And I guarantee you, even if they're not on social, if they're not interacting with you, they're still watching y'all. They're still watching, believe it or not. Isn't that funny? They still can see things, even if you can't tell otherwise. But consistently sharing your Scentsy journey, everyday conversations, social media without pressure, by the way, keyword without pressure. So what does that mean? That means that you really want to take out of the especially when it comes to social media, you really want to take that part out where it's like join my team or we have a join special, who wants in? Don't do that. Don't do that. Share why you love the products. Share why you join Scentsy. What does it do for you? Your paycheck that you earn every month, what are you putting your paycheck towards? Share those things. There's an endless list, y'all, that you can do. I want you to utilize storytelling to make authentic connections. What do I mean by that? You again want to share how Scentsy has impacted your life beyond just the product. So for me, we're getting a little personal. So for me, over the last 5 years, I have not only struggled through my marriage, I've struggled with infertility, I've struggled with depression, I've struggled with a late diagnosis of ADHD, I went from working my 9 to 5, then to making the biggest decision of my life, to walking away from a job that I could count on with good benefits, by the way, and then to where we got whipped into the good old, we're not even gonna talk about it. But then during that time, I made the decision to work my Scentsy business full time. But in the midst of that, I was struggling to keep my head above water with my depression. I was struggling with figuring out what it means to go through this journey of infertility. What does that look like for me? I didn't have at the time, I didn't have good friends, I didn't have connection, but thank goodness a lot of that has turned around, and again, going back to the fact that I am a very different person from the time that I started sensing up until now. But I wanna share those things because by sharing those and now that's not to say that it's not easy, by the way. I just wanna come out there and say, like, I know that's not easy. Trust from somebody like I said, if you would have known me 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been I probably or for one, would definitely not have been doing this video, but I for sure wouldn't have been exposing myself and sharing so much of these intimate details of the journey that I've been through. But what I've realized is that I've come full circle, y'all, to know that my individual purpose for being here as a consultant is to be able to bridge the gap, and Scentsy is the pillar. I've been able to bridge the gap between those that I'm connecting with that are being blessed in my life and planted into my life in very different ways at different times, but there's a purpose behind it. And I know that my purpose is to help find the inner confidence within those that are connecting to be a part of my team. I know that that's my driven purpose. Now, had you had asked me, Megan, why are you consulting? What do you feel like your purpose is 5 years ago? I would not have been able to say that. And it changed. It changes, and that's perfectly fine. Like if you're hearing me talk now, you're like, "Whoo, I don't even know what my story is, let alone my purpose." That's okay. That's okay. you wanna ask yourself first and foremost, why did you say yes? Why did you click join? Why did you decide that you wanted that join kit? It can be as something as simple as I love fragrance. I love how things smell because look, when I joined Scentsy, y'all, I had no clue what Scentsy was. Isn't that funny? I had no clue what Scentsy was. I was a huge fan of candles. I loved fragrance in itself. Fragrance makes me happy. Fragrance brings me back to memories, right? Fragrance is always tied back to memories. But it makes me happy. I was the one person, y'all, that I would spend like a solid hour on a candle aisle because I love fragrance so much. And sometimes I wouldn't even buy anything. I just love to smell stuff, right? And so whenever I decided to join Scentsy, no one actually asked me, by the way. I saw a video and I connected with the video because I'm a creative person. I love color, I love confetti. And I saw the join video. And the join video that we had at the time was this promo video from an SFR experience. And all I needed to see, honestly, was the confetti coming out of the cannons. And I'm like, I don't know where the hell this is. And I don't know what these people are doing. And I didn't even know people could be this happy, but I need this in my life. I want to be a part of this. Whatever this is, I want to be a part of it. And I had no idea just how much more would come from that. Like I didn't know that I could actually grow a team. I didn't know that I didn't know what sponsoring was. I didn't know that a team members existed. I didn't know that I could get paid off of sharing something that I love. Isn't that crazy? But you can utilize storytelling, whether it's posting. I highly recommend sharing these things through stories, by the way, because if you didn't already know this on a side note, if you share the stories and you check your settings, you can cross over from Instagram to Facebook and then vice versa. So stories to me is where it's at because that's where you can double down and it's less work, to be honest. Offer value first, such as fragrance tips, seasonal ideas to keep Scentsy top of your people's mind. I wouldn't say customers because we have what's called like your cold market. So like that's potential customers, right? So that's going to be customers that haven't placed an order yet, but they're still watching you. We all have those people, right? But when you're sharing and you're showing up and you're consistently, so like for me, for example, it's less social media, it's more emailing and texting my customers and texting people that I've connected with through different areas, even if they haven't ordered yet. But I have their information, right? I have their phone number or I have their email, and I'm doing both. And I'm sharing not only fragrance tips, but it's more than just a sale, y'all, because I want to plant that seed. I want to build that connection and I want to build that relationship with them because I feel like that unless I've outright had a conversation with them about joining Scentsy, I cannot go from point A to point D. I can't be like, hey, nice to meet you. Oh, by the way, do you want to join Scentsy? Because I don't want those people on my team. And I don't want them to think that I'm that kind of person because I'm not that kind of person. Like, I want to be intentional. I want to be purposeful with those that I'm bringing in into my inner circle, whether they're here on my team for just a short amount of time or they're here for the long run. Because either way, I'm going to make an impact in their life. Either way, I'm planting seeds in their life, whether it's for a short amount of time or a long period of time. Right. When you're sharing fragrance tips, when you're sharing seasonal ideas, when you're sharing personal curated bundles, when you're like, "Hey, I know how much you love the color purple. Did you know that we have this warmer? Did you know that we have these bars? Look at this six pack of wax. Look at these pods that we have that are all purple shades, all pink shades. You're taking it beyond just the sale and you're making it more personal to them. And by doing that, you're letting them know, like, hey, I see you. Hey, I know you. And I remember this is what you like. I can't even tell y'all how many times I have like a running list that I keep on my phone because Lord knows I'm not keeping it up here. I'm not keeping it up here. I try to, but it doesn't work. So I keep a running list on my phone and it's an ISO in search of, right? And it's my customers, what they're looking for, what they're asking about. And it's either fragrances or products that no longer exist. And when I'm out and about, or since he does bring back my bar, or I see it in clearance, I'm like, ah, guess what? Guess what came in? Or if it's maybe something that doesn't exist, I still want them on my list, right? Because that's for sure going to be give me something that I can reach out to. And you're again, that's building a personal connection. And when you're building that personal connection with them, it's letting them know, like, hey, you're more than just a sale. I thought about you. And it's not like, hey, I thought about all 40 of y'all and I'm copying and pasting this message. It's like this one individual person. And I'm letting them know, like, hey, I remembered last year. Because that's they're gonna remember that. They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, we talked about that a long time ago. I can't believe they remember that. I mean, how cool is that? It makes it so much more personal because I can't remember the last time that I had a conversation with somebody that I know is a small business owner Or even let's not even talk big box company, but a small business. I order and I support my friends, right, that sell other things outside of Scentsy, and I don't always get a text from them that's like one-on-one and be like, "Hey, Megan, I know how much you liked this product. Did you know it's back?" I don't get recommendations. I don't get the text where it's like, "Hey, I was thinking of you," or I don't even get like happy birthday or, hope. Yeah, I don't get all that. But you can set yourself aside. You can make sure that you're setting yourself apart from all other Scentsy consultants, all other small business owners by being more personable. Now, is that me telling you to remember all the things all the time? Hell no. Because I can't. I wish I could be more personable with my customers than I already am, but I can only do so much, right? So, I'm not gonna always remember there are consultants out there that can honestly remember their customer's family's birthday. Yeah, that's not me. Unless I'm, like, making a note of it or tracking it, it ain't gonna happen. But do what you can. Show up for your customers no matter what that looks like. Let's talk about building genuine connections. We were kind of just talking about that, right? Like a little bit earlier. But I want to take it a step further. So, building genuine connections. I want you to focus on your relationships, not just transactions. So, again, sales are going to come and go, y'all. Sales are going to come and go. But I want you to focus on the relationship, building the relationship with people, whether they're customers that have been around for a while or they're customers that you recently connected with, whether it's through events, um, fundraising, you name it, parties, but I want you to get to know your customers' interests, their lifestyle. What are their hobbies? What do they like as a snack? What is their favorite season? What is their even beyond fragrance, to be honest? Do they prefer cats or dogs? Do they? And that's the fun thing is that whether you have a VIP group or whether you're texting your customers one on one, these are simple ways that you can text them out every day or once a week, just like a fun little quirky text. I do that probably about once a week with my customers where it's something beyond the sale, and I'll message them and I'll just be like, well, like for example, like I'm in Texas right now. It's snowing where it snowed over the last day or two. We are not used to that kind of weather, y'all. We're not used to it. And so because of that, with me living in Texas, I messaged my customers and I was like, hey, what is your favorite way to stay cozy today? Or what is your favorite way to relax? It's not a sale. It's not asking them to join. It's not asking for sale, right? It's just getting to know them a little bit more personally. And what's cool is those that message you back or those that respond to your post. I love, love, love on social media, especially on Facebook. Those are some fun interactive posts that you can do, by the way. I highly recommend, even, I don't know if you've heard of ChatGPT before, but I highly recommend I utilize ChatGPT. You can honestly go to there and just type into this blank space and just ask it, give me 10 or give me 7 even. Give me 7 this or that questions to ask my customers for fun on Facebook, having to do with January or having to do with wintertime. More specific, the better. But that's how you can get to know your customers. And then what's really cool is that the way that they answer those questions, the ones that do answer, you're able to keep a running list, whether it's pen and paper or on your phone or on your tablet, whatever the case may be. But keep a running list on their like profile. In fact, little plug-in, if you use the Scentsy Connect app, did you know that you can actually add notes into your customer's profile? So for those that are saying like, I prefer cats to dogs, or I love tattoos, or I love everything the color blue, whatever it is, y'all, you can go into their profile on the Scentsy Connect app and you can actually add a little note to it. Okay. Or on your phone, however you track your customers. And by the way, if you're not doing that, you need to do that because that's how you're going to be able to connect and create your running list of like your dream team of those that you want to reach out to for possibly joining down the line. But that's how you can build the relationship with them is letting them know that you're thinking about them, right? Even if you're out and about, yeah, you're at a store, and I mean, I have a customer that loves gnomes. So anytime I'm at a store and I happen to see a really cute gnome, I snap a photo of it, which is free, by the way. I'm not buying it for. I'm taking a photo and I text it to her and I'm like, hey, Asia, hope you had a great week. Hope you have a great week. Hope you have a great day. Just to let you know, I'm just thinking about you. And then send her the photo. I sent her the photo, and it's free, y'all, because I'm not buying it to her. I'm not buying it for her, but I'm letting her know I'm thinking about her. That goes a long way. I want you to be present in communities where your ideal customers are. So not just online, because going back to the fact of like social media at this point is just really difficult, right? It's really difficult, and I emphasize that big time, to make sure that you're not only getting yourself out there, but people are seeing your content. But more importantly, I want you to be able to be present communities outside of social media. What does that mean? So that means that if you have a hobby, look for something in your community that has to do with that hobby. If you're not sure where to look, I will say go back to social media, go back to Facebook, search Facebook groups. Guarantee there's probably a group out there having to do with your hobbies. Connect with somebody. Like for example, the last year or two, I was a part of a book club, and it was not just Scentsy consultants; it was people outside of Scentsy, and that was a lot of fun to be able to show up with them once a month and be a part of book club. Things like that. Find a group. Find, even if it takes 1 or 2 people, find people that you can connect with of something that you love to do or you love to talk about, whether it's like your favorite movie, your favorite actor, your favorite TV series. For example, I had a friend of mine the other day, that she and I spent probably a good hour talking about all things cats, because I have cats and dogs, but she and I were talking about cats. She's like, "I have no one else that I can talk to cats about." I'm like, "I am your person," because I nerd out hard when it comes to talk about cats. Love all I can literally talk your face off about cats. And so that's something that her and I connected on. So those are the things outside of Scentsy that you can connect and build relationships with, right? Because you're being present with them and you're building a group within your community, whether it's online or in person. One of the easiest, simplest things that you can do with your customers, y'all, potential customers even, is connecting with them through milestones. So one of the things that I love to do is, if you have Facebook, Facebook makes it so easy on us. You can actually go to the search bar at the top of Facebook and type in the term birthday. What's going to happen is that your people that you're friends with on Facebook that have birthdays that they've listed on there, it's going to do like a drop down running list. What I love doing so much is that I love texting those individuals that have birthdays within that month, that I have their phone number. I love texting them. I love using Bitmoji. You can take a in-person photo, like right now, I could take a photo of myself and send it to them, and I'm just like, "Hey, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great birthday month. Hope you have a great birthday week." What's really cool is I try to take it off of social media, because what are the odds of them seeing that? It's gonna set, again, you're setting yourself apart, you're building that one-on-one relationship with them. I like to take it a step further because I love going to Amazon, Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, or Dollar General has these as well, but birthday cards. I love taking it a step further, and if they're a customer of mine, or if I at least have their address, I will mail them a birthday card. I used to even put the scent circles in there, but now I just either do like a fun sticker or I'll throw like some confetti. I wouldn't recommend doing a lot of confetti because that's where it gets heavier, but honestly, just a simple birthday card. But if that's out of your budget, texting them, you can definitely text them and wish them happy birthday. If you use Snapchat, I record a Snapchat, fun little filter saying happy birthday. It's the best thing ever, y'all. When it's like the voiceover, and I'll send that to them as well. But you're showing that you care outside of the sale again, and you're planting those seeds, right? So, going and tying into that as well, the last thing I want to talk about is, leading with purpose and opportunity. Leading with purpose and opportunity. Actually, sorry, second to last thing I want to talk about. um, I want you to emphasize how Sensei can fit into different lifestyles. So, the first half of this training was really, I really wanted to share things that maybe you're not hearing often enough going into like the new year, because I guarantee you everything I just talked about, I don't really hear that often in Scentsy trainings, especially when it comes to growing a team or sponsoring. But I do want to segue into the 101 basics that we should already know, but things that we should already be doing. Because we don't want to forget about this stuff. So I still want to talk about what we're about to talk about now. So that's leading with purpose and opportunity. So what does that mean? So when you're leading with purpose, it means that you're going to find out with the conversations, right? So we're building relationships, we're having conversations with these individuals. And when you're getting to know them over time, you're then going to be able to figure out their, not only the personality type, but their lifestyle and how Scentsy can actually align with their lifestyle. So that's whether they're maybe looking for extra income, maybe they're looking for flexibility, right? So maybe they're wanting to still make a paycheck, still have that steady income, but flexibility on the hours that they work, flexibility on where they can work, that they're not just stationed to like a desk at outside of the home, right? That's gonna look this looks different for them, right? But also personal enjoyment. That was actually remember that's why I joined was personal enjoyment because I already had a regular job that I was making decent money at that I had good benefits with, but I wasn't enjoying it. And I needed something where I could pour into something that I could have personal enjoyment that I was going to be able to connect like my creative side with something else. So I think it's important whenever you're, for example, if you are looking through again social media pages and you're looking at your potential people that you have that you've put down that list for personally asking them that are potential people that you want on your team. I want you to look at what they're sharing. Not only more importantly, but the conversations that you're having outside of social media, but what are they sharing? What are they talking about? Or did you do a post recently where you're asking if you could have anywhere who wants a dream vacation? If you could go anywhere on vacation, where would you go? People that are commenting on that obviously are telling you, "I love to travel. I love going to different places." That is something that you can actually connect back with Scentsy because you're sharing where SFR, right? World Tour, SFR, the incentive trips. Those 3 places you guys are involved with a sense of travel. So those that would comment and interact on that post would definitely be the people that you want to interact with and be like, "Hey, I noticed. Thank you so much, by the way, for commenting on my post. I love to travel too." Maybe name a place or two that you've been to and be like, "Did you know that you can?" And then that's where it's going to organically start the conversation with, like, "Did you know that I'm actually getting ready to travel soon with Scentsy? As an independent Scentsy consultant, I get to travel soon." And then talk about where you're going for World Tour or talk about that you're going to Minnesota this coming year for Scentsy Family Reunion. Like, I've never been to Minnesota before. So I plan on at some point this year, I'm going to do a post on my social media platforms and be like, "Hey, I've never been to Minnesota before. Can anybody give me advice on where to eat at? What should I go see?" Non-Cincy people that are commenting, those are the ones that I want to interact with, right? Because they're going to be the ones watching my social media platforms and they're going to be able to see the things that I'm sharing and posting about after or during or after SFR. So I want you to not only do that, but it's also so important to share the mission of Scentsy and how it aligns with creating a safe, welcoming space for others. One of the coolest things that I've been able to get to know over the last couple of years with Scentsy is the variety of friends that I have. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have different lifestyles. We all have different opinions and personalities and it's just so cool to think about the variety of community and variety of friends that I've been able to make along the way, and that the vast majority of us really don't have that much in common, aside from the fact that we love fragrance and we squirrel a lot, aka spicy brain. Because let's be honest, the vast majority of us have some sort of spicy brain within us, right? I think that's the funnest, to me, that's the funniest part of all. Um, One of the things that is just so simple and so easy to do is if you go back to your Cincy website, your PDWS, and you click on where it says join, there are going to be different statements and quotes and things that you can actually take screenshots of or you can reword and share with your customers, your people one-on-one. You can share them on social media. I love things like that because it's showing that or like I for example like to take what it says and then again add a personal photo because it's going to help me stand out among all the other consultants and it's going to help me connect again with those that are watching me. And honestly, going back to Cincy's mission statement, you can again, just like I said with your story that you should have already on your PWS, again, that you edited through Workstation, you can also take Cincy's mission statement and break it up into sections and then talk about and share why that aligns with you. Or maybe perhaps that it doesn't align with you, but something that you definitely love about Cincy. And then again, share a personalized photo with it. Help potential team members see their strengths and how Cincy can complement their goals. So one of the things that I've definitely again learned the hard way over the last couple of years when it comes to building my team, sponsoring others, is that I want to be able to have a conversation, connect with them with maybe perhaps something that they're working towards. So, like for myself, speaking about myself, I started about 4 years ago with going back to into therapy, and that was something that I needed not only professionally, but I wanted personally to work on not only with myself, but to have healthier relationships with those that are around me. And so many other things. So when I'm having a conversation with somebody, and for example, they're talking about like, man, I've just been really in a bad headspace lately. Non-consultants. So like if I'm talking to a customer and they're like, yeah, I'm just going through a really tough time. I can't catch a break. I've just really been down on myself. That's where I can find a place where again it has to feel intentional and organic that I'm sharing with them, you know, and emphasizing, I'm so sorry that you're going through a difficult time. I can't even imagine that. And then share with them like one of the things I'm so thankful for is that I have one of my 2 best friends that I've met through my Scentsy community that I can lean on and that I can share things with and that understand me more than anybody else has been able to understand me before. And again, these are things that if you're not comfortable with talking about one-on-one or you're not comfortable talking about on social media, you can do vice versa. But again, it's important to think about more than just the sales, more than just the number. What else has Cincy been able to do for you? What bridge has it been able to gap from the time that you started until now? And if maybe you find that you're in a place where you're like, I'm not really sure that that exists anymore, then maybe perhaps think about where you're at right now. What are the things that you're wanting to work on and work through going into this month, going into next month, going into this new year, right? And then those are things that I guarantee you that if you're aligning yourself with videos like this, if you're aligning yourself with maybe perhaps one person or more that you connected with in the Scentsy business, if you're being authentic and sharing with your customer base, whether it's on social media or online. I mean, one of the things that helps fill my cup up, y'all, is being able to do stuff like this because I don't want to keep these things to myself. I want to be able to share my journey. I want to be able to talk about why it's important for us to not gatekeep the Scentsy opportunity that we want to continuously share with others. And I know it can be very scary. It can be very, it's sometimes it's hard for us to wrap our mind around like, I cannot take on sponsoring one person. I don't want, because I feel like that we put so much pressure on ourselves that it's this huge responsibility, this huge obligation to be able to sponsor somebody. I feel like that's almost like such a heavy word. Like a lot of times that in the past, I remember the term party. I'm like, I don't want to use that anymore. I don't care. I use that term now because that is what we're doing. We're partying, by the way. We're a party based home based party company. Okay. But when I'm talking about having those conversations with individuals, it's more than just getting them to be a Scentsy consultant. You are again planting a seed in somebody's life, whether it's for a short amount of time or a long period of time, but you're making a difference in somebody's life. Whether it feels that way, whether they're validating that or not, I guarantee you that somebody that you're connecting with is not by accident. It is very on purpose, it's very intentional. It's meant to be. It's meant to be. Because there's a reason why there are individuals that are on your sponsor's team, and there's a reason why there's individuals that are on my team. There's a reason why they're connecting with me and they've connected with them. And to me, I like to believe that that's not by accident at all. Not at all. Okay, so lastly, creative follow-up strategies. Because here's the thing, when you're having the conversations with somebody about whether you want to talk to them about potentially joining, or whether it's very fresh, it's very new, and building that relationship, cultivating that relationship and trust with that new customer or that potential customer, right? You have to follow up with them. You have to follow up with them. And that's the one of the toughest things and barriers, y'all, that I've had to break down in the last couple of years because there were so many outsiders outside of the Cincy community that were telling me, like, I can't believe that you're talking to these people over and over. Who wants like there was all these like naysayers basically that were voices in my head that were telling me otherwise. Like, ugh, I don't wanna bug. Why would you want to bug those people? Like, ugh, I can never do what you're doing. Like, I couldn't dare. I couldn't even. I mean, y'all, they Friends, family, you name it, were telling me things like that. Like, I could never do that. Like, I just don't wanna bug them. I don't wanna drive them crazy, y'all. I've got ADHD. I guarantee you, I can't even tell y'all half the conversation I had like a week ago. So I guarantee you that the people that you're talking to, that you're following up with, whether they ordered a month or 2 ago, like I did today, by the way, and I was like, "Hey, just hope you're having a good day, staying warm. Just checking in to see, I'm putting a group order in, just checking in to see if you need any wax pods or conch cleanups." Trust me, y'all, they're not gonna be like, "Stop texting me, you're bugging me." They're gonna be more likely, they're gonna a lot of them are like spicy brain like I am, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Thank you so much for checking in on me." Or they're gonna be like I had a lot more customers today that told me no than told me yes. But the ones that told me no and say, "Hey, could you stop texting me?" They're like, "Oh, thank you so much for thinking of me. I hope you have a great day too. Stay warm." It was a blissful, peaceful exchange. And I will tell y'all that, yes, there are gonna be some, because I'm sure somebody out there that's watching this video is thinking about this. There are gonna be some that are gonna be a little bit more of like negative naysayers that are indeed gonna tell you, like, stop texting me, please delete this number, or maybe they don't text you back at all. That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Not everybody's gonna respond to you, not everybody's gonna want to place an order. But the thing is that at the end of the day, I get to check off that I did my job. I reached out to those people. I let them know I'm placing a group order. Whether they answer me back or not, check, got that done. You did your job. That's all that matters. I want you to think outside the box when it comes to your follow-ups. Sending I want you such as sending personalized samples. So, right, if you send samples, personalized samples. So, for example, if you are reaching out to your customers and you know for a fact that they have all the wax in the world, but maybe perhaps they have not tried our laundry line. The next time they place an order, either suggest trying the laundry products, or if they live local, they can be like, "Hey, your order just came in, by the way," or, "Hey, I'll be in your area in the next couple of days. I'd love to drop by and give you a laundry sample." No matter what that looks like for you, think outside the box, beyond wax, and think about maybe something that's more, again, you're planting that seeds, right? You're being more personal, you're being more intentional by offering a personalized sample to them. You can host fun challenges. I actually did that yesterday because, again, we were a little snowed in. Everybody was freaking out. We couldn't go anywhere. And so when everybody, for the most part, was home, I texted them out a picture and I text a picture of them, of myself. I showed them of myself out in the front yard and I had the snow and all the things. I was bundled up and I was like, "Hey, hope y'all are staying warm and safe. Let's have some fun. Send me your best snow photo and I'll enter your name in for a chance for a fun prize." Now, they don't know what I'm sending them. They don't know what the fun prize is. It can be whatever you want it to be. It can be a sample. It could be anything from stickers that have to be Scentsy related. It could be something that you just have sitting around you, whatever. Does not even matter. What matters is that you're getting their mind off of things. And again, I've said it so many times in this training, but you're building connections, you're building relationships, you're building trust, and you're having fun with them, and you're going beyond the sale. You can, again, going back to talking about creating theme bundles for different needs. So, for example, remember I said I texted today and I told my customers, like, "Hey, I'm placing a group order this weekend." Well, when I let them know that I was placing a group order for my local, well, I say it back. I text them local and not local, but the wording was, of course, different because I'm not going to do a group order for those that are not local. But I did send them out themed names. I gave them 4 themed names. Thank you, ChatGPT, for wax bundles. And I said wax or pods, basically. And I was like, I told them the price point, and I was like, choose your theme. Let me know if you want details. Otherwise, it'll be a surprise. And I based those themes off of the weather, off of that it's cooler outside, that we're warm and cozy, and people are being bundled up. And because I want to paint a picture, I want it to be a little bit more fun and interactive. And themed bundles can do just that because it just makes it more fun, makes it easier for them to choose. It's so and so important. It's something that I have definitely implemented not only this last year, but I'm taking with me going into this new year, is that using multiple touch points, again, like handwritten cards, notes, voice messages, engaging on social media. Y'all, you can't just rely on just social media. I guarantee you're going to hear that a lot this year. you can't rely on just on social media, but I want to be in my customers' faces all the time. What does that mean? I want to them to see texts from me, emails. I want them to see me in my social media platforms and my stories. I want to text them happy birthday. I want to send them birthday cards. I want them to always keep me in the forefront of their mind when it comes to conversations that they're having with others. Because if they're not interested or they're not ready to place another order, because I keep showing up authentically, because I'm building those relationships with them, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I know a Scentsy person, Megan Clark. Megan Clark. She's my Scentsy girl. Let me go ahead and refer you over and give you her information." Isn't that awesome? Because they trust you, you're building that relationship with them. So it's beyond just a sale. They're sharing your public posts that you have on Facebook. They're referring you to their people. They're sharing your shopping link with others because they're seeing you work towards an incentive goal beyond just a sale. And they trust you and you built that relationship with them. So therefore they want to support you. They want to show up for you. And more importantly, you're able to start seeing like, oh, person could be a great potential team member. And if not, maybe for the future, but they're going to be a club member or they're going to host a party with me. And again, you're planting those seeds. You're building, you're gaining that trust with them. Aside from that, don't forget that you want to track the interactions and tailor your approach based on their interests and past purchases. So, for example, tying in real quick before I let y'all go, if you have somebody that's a club member with you, that is definitely something that is so easily approachable with your customers. Be like, hey, Erica, I saw that your club order is going to ship out in the next week. Don't forget, you can still edit it. Let them respond because this is kind of like a push and pull. Give or take type conversation, right? I like to say it's a dance. So when they respond back, if they respond back, and they're like, "Megan, thank you so much for letting me know. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good day." I'm like, "Oh yeah, no problem. Don't worry about it. By the way, did you know that you can get paid off of your Scentsy Club as a Scentsy consultant?" However you wanna word that. But I love that using that platform, using that jump off from, like, you have Scentsy Club, did you know you could get paid off of it? Like, I have somebody right now that I'm in the middle of planting the seeds, with her. I've talked to her, she's a good little customer of mine that I've had for a while, and I know that's just a matter of time before she joins, and one of the conversations that I keep having with her, because I know this is really what's gonna drive it home for her, is that she enjoys supporting me. So, when I'm like, Hey, you already order from me on a regular basis. You're a club member of mine. I love that you love fragrance. You're constantly always, I love how you're always showing Scentssy's posts and you're tagging me. This is also a way that you can support me is by linking up with me and joining my team. Like how I did that because I made it more personal. I tailored that conversation to her. I've already built a relationship with her. She already trusts me as her Scentsy consultant, and she's in club with me, right? So I'm hoping all in all through this that you're able to take one little key takeaway from this. And I want you to more the most important thing that you can take from this y'all is that going beyond the numbers. Going beyond the fact that there's this connotation of heaviness when it comes to asking somebody to join your team with sponsoring because here's the thing, there are so many tools and resources out there for individuals that you're linking arms with, that you're bringing into your community to share this awesomeness with, to be able to share your journey with. Because the things that you've been able to take away from the Scentsy business since you joined, whatever that looks like, you're going to be able to share that with these individuals that are you're going to sponsor. I want I want you to think of it as more than just a number, more than just the sale. Think of it as how can I pour into somebody else? How can I pay it forward? How can I give back to somebody else and let them know like this is what has happened to me thus far. This is the change that I've been able to make. This is how I've been able to turn around. These are the blessings that have come into my life. Why would you not want that for somebody else? Right? Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I love to connect with y'all. If you have any questions or if you maybe want to elaborate a little bit more on this conversation, feel free to reach out to me no matter how that looks like. I am on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're on YouTube, I'm on there as well. But thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a blessed and incredible week. And like I said, keep planting those seeds. Do not give up. It's gonna be hard. It's supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be hard. But I guarantee you, you are gonna come out from this on the other side of things, and there's nothing but good that can come from this. Nothing but good can come from planting the seeds. Thanks, y'all. Talk to you later.